there, my name is Emma. Welcome to my channel. I am a mom of twins, a Montessori trained guide, and today I want to bring you into my home and share with you some morning homemaking that I did. We're going to prep some delicious French dip sandwiches for dinner with some homemade ciabatta, as well as get some bread shaped and ready for tomorrow's dinner. And I also desperately need to clean out our entryway closet and kind of change things over for the closely approaching winter season. And so we're going to tackle that project as well. So stick around till the end to see how our dinner turns out, as well as how that closet gets transformed. We have a bit of a rhythm to our morning, less of a schedule. Most days we are home in the morning. Typically one day a week, I either have some time with my sisters and their children at my house, or we go over to my mom's. But on this day, we were going to be home for most of the day. We had an outing planned for the afternoon. When the twins wake up, I will go up and nurse them, and we will then slowly start our day, maybe play in their room for a few minutes. I will make my bed and get dressed, and then we'll work our way downstairs. I might throw a load of laundry in or do a little task upstairs if they're content. And then we go and get started with breakfast. Luckily, this morning I had already prepared an oatmeal bake the day before. I go about cleaning up from breakfast. They make quite a mess. I'm sure if you have little ones, you can relate to that. And I do find it important, though, to clean up things throughout the day as those messes happen, so that we're not left with a bigger mess at the end of the day. Just helps those transition moments. It helps my peace of mind as we go about our day. I like to have them even sit in their high chairs a little bit longer and watch me sweep the floor, wipe the table, and this seems to entertain them as well. As a homemaker, I find myself needing to prepare dinner for my family, and this is definitely a newer area of skill development that I have been working on, and I am growing in this area, yet it still doesn't feel like something I'm super confident in. It still requires a lot of mental thought and energy, as well as time. I think I look forward to a day in 5-10 years from now when I can look in my fridge, see all these random ingredients, and just know how to put them together to make a yummy, delicious meal. And I'm not there yet. I find myself relying heavily on recipes still developing that skill of learning how ingredients work together and timing dishes so that the meal comes together all at the same time. Those are hard skills to learn, and I am continuing to just be consistent in trying to get meals on the table, healthy, satisfying, delicious meals as much as possible. And so there's a few things that I've found to be really helpful in getting to that goal of having dinner on the table in the evening. One thing I do is I take time on Sundays typically to meal plan based on what we have in our fridge, in our pantry, so that I'm using up the things that we do have. And then I will write that on a small little calendar and put it right on the fridge. Then I can just really glance at it very frequently, to be honest, to see what things I need to prepare, what I could get going. And this really helps take that question of like, what should I make for dinner out of the picture? And so I like to have a meal plan on the fridge. Another thing that has helped me get dinner on the table is having meat thawed out. I took this tip from Lisa over from the YouTube channel Farmhouse on Boone. If you haven't watched her YouTube channel, I'm a big fan of it. And she's very inspiring and a very seasoned homemaker and mother. And one thing she shared about doing was making sure to have meat thawed. She'll take a 9x13 pan and put all of the meat that she plans to use for the week in there and put it in the fridge to be thawing so that she always has thawed meat. And I've found that to be a huge obstacle to preparing dinner is you look around and everything's frozen. So the question of what to make just becomes very limited because things aren't easy to cook because they are still frozen. And so that's one thing that when I remember to do that, it really helps answer that question of what to make. Because if I have thawed meat that can be cooked, within 20 to 30 minutes, that is much different than frozen meat that needs to sit out and thaw for hours or sit in a sink of water for 40 minutes. And so that's been a huge helpful tip for me in making meals for my family. Another thing that I'm entering into is continuing to prepare food, make food whenever my boys are content playing in the kitchen. I kind of let them have access to the cabinets, and that's really how I'm able to get different food prepared. At a certain point, they'll be able to help me make different foods, but right now they aren't walking, and so they are content playing on the ground, taking all the lids out of my drawers. And that's how I can get bread like this made or a crock pot thrown together. And sometimes the preparation might span over hours of our day, but just doing little bits whenever there's pockets of time has helped me make progress on preparing food. One thing I'm convicted of, my husband sometimes will come home when I'm in the middle of making dinner and like things are just everywhere and it looks like a bomb went off in the kitchen. And I think he commented of just how sometimes it's messy. And that kind of stuck with me and convicted me of really doing things in stages so that it is clean along the way, and pausing to just do the dishes before I move on to the next task, and starting new kitchen tasks with kind of a clean sink, a clean counter, so that the process is a little bit smoother. And then the other thing I like to do is just make sure that 1 or 2 days in the week is a meal of leftovers, because that just can give me a little bit of a break of having to prepare a new meal every single day. And so by making things a little bit bigger batches of food, just making extra so that we can have some nights that are a little bit easier and more laid back, that is helpful for me in preparing meals. So we're diving in here to this closet. This closet is right off of our kitchen, and the purpose of it really is to store things that we don't need access to because it's such a deep closet, but then the front of the closet using for our coats, mittens, hats, gloves. Unfortunately, over the last few months, it has just really become a place of collection for random objects that I didn't want to put away correctly. So when I'm thinking about organizing this closet, I am pulling out a lot of the things that need to get gone through, restoring things that maybe are just quickly out of place, like putting things back in their boxes if I had taken them out. I like this closet because it's really deep, but it doesn't work well for things that we need regular access to. So I store all of our Christmas decorations in the back of this closet because we pull them out once a year. Then I don't have to go to the back of this closet because you pretty much have to pull everything out to get to the back. So it works well to store those things back there. And then I've also been storing our luggage and just baby items that we won't use again until we have a future child, God willing. So those are stored back there. And then towards the front of the closet are those frequently used things, our mittens, hats, gloves. Have enjoyed sharing with you about the role of being a homemaker, as well as pairing it with the principles of Montessori to create a beautiful and functioning home environment. So if you would like to learn more about Montessori and get some inspiration for your home environment, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked this video, and thanks for stopping by our Montessori home. I'll see you in the next one.